Ben Brown, Evolution Martial Arts in Sparks, Nevada with Brad. Just finished class, we're doing closed guard. So in closed guard, we talk about all the habits. You can watch any of the previous videos for those habits, what it takes to be effective in closed guard. When you are effective, I do kind of like to recap. I can't let Brad have his hands on me. Specifically, he needs his hands on my hips. So I'm either peeling his hands or I'm just not letting him get his hands. I want to break his base and posture. When I'm doing, and then I want to connect to him. Collar ties, underhooks, overhooks, 2-on-1s, which turn into arm drags. And then when I'm good at all that, I can start sweeping and attacking. So today we went over hip bump sweep. Hip bump sweep happens when the person is upright. It's kind of good, like, even if, there are some people where even if I get their hands off me, our head instructor here, Jason, I cannot knee pull him. His base is too good, right? You're having trouble pulling someone in because they're leaning way back, then I'm gonna go to them. So this is the hip bump sweep. You open your guard, whatever direction you're going, the opposite foot is your base. And then this has to be behind me. If you make this too short, too shallow, and you get any pressure this way, you're getting knocked back down. So when I go for that hip bump sweep, I want a good wide base, and it can follow me as I get toward Brad. One thing I like to do is kind of get my hips back a little. It gives me more room. And then I'm used to hipping out in closed guard. When I open that guard, I hip out. It gives me this angle advantage. So I'm right here. I'm gonna come over the top of this arm. So I'm kind of covering his shoulder. And I like the landmark of just grabbing this elbow. You don't have to grab the elbow. You can kind of go around the arm. But it reminds you to control this arm. And the reason you're controlling this arm is if I start to sweep Brad, he's gonna extend his base. Any sweep. The person's gonna try to fix it by extending their base. So I'm taking that away from him. And then literally I'm hitting him with my hips here. And I flip him over. And Brad's doing the thing we do in class. We turn this into a flow drill. He starts his escape right away. Any escape, he's using a knee elbow escape, and it ends up right back in closed guard, which is great. And then it's Brad's turn. So let's say I'm just up, he's got my hands off him, right? He feels my weight back, so he's gonna attack me. Look at this base, base. He's gonna cover my arm and hit me with that hip bump. And then just as practice, this is a hip bump drill, but you know, I can work on my escapes right back into closed guard. Another way I like it that you're down here, the timing for a hip bump sweep, a lot of times is when you have broken their base and posture and they're fighting to get it back. He's moving back and I'm following. So that's a timing thing. Go ahead. And so you can just turn this into a flow drill. Now ideally, look, I should get in his armpits, go here, here. That's how to get your base and posture back. But when it's live, a lot of times, people will just do this, right? So he's pulling, and the reason he's doing this is either one, to break my base and posture, but maybe he's baiting me. And he lets me up just a little, and then he follows. Boom, and I go right over. So there's your hip bump sweep. And there's a lot of things, if you don't have some of those details right, you're never gonna get it. It's gotta be timed. And look, if Brad is set up on me, you can't sit up into this. So like the first skill in closed guard is keep their hands off you. I either peel this way or I come underneath, and a lot of times I extend and then I drop my hips and it creates that space. But as soon as his hands are off of me, I have options. Then it's time to attack. Boom. And we go over. I always ask it, and most people don't say anything, but do you have anything to add?
I think the getting your hips off angle, and then it gives you a little bit more space and a little bit more power.
Yeah.
Ability to generate power, because I think you need a lot of power for the hip bone.
You do, and I saw you doing that in class. Yeah. Getting that angle, that's a really good habit. So I'm glad you added something today. Right on.
You got it.